baked on by my fridge like Tony. Guess I'll be eating all the words you say, and you say everything is gonna be okay, 'cause
we'll be alright.
What is up, my dudes? It is Drew here from MechaWorks. Today, bringing you what does it cost to swap an S54 into an E30 for the bare minimum. So let's roll the intro. Stay tuned. Let's get to it.
Now turn up.
Right quick, I want to give a super huge shout out to our shirt sponsor, E30stuff.com. They have some really awesome shirts. Very, very comfortable. I really like these. Really good for days like this where it's like 65 outside, the sun's out, and it feels great. This is a baseball cut shirt, or baseball length is what they call it. And it is super, super soft, really comfortable. Link is down in the description. Go check them out. Tell them I sent you, and they'll hook you up. All right, guys, so I know why you clicked on this video. This is how to get an S54 into an E30 for the dirt cheap. And when I say dirt cheap, I mean like absolutely bare minimum, and not including brakes, suspension, wheels, tires, bushings, anything like that. This is just getting the S54 in the car. So keep this in mind when we go through this. And then also, it looks a little different today. I'm on my GoPro using a new microphone, so we're gonna see how this goes. This is my S62 host car, which many of you know, and then this obviously is my S54 car. So I have things written down on my phone, so if I'm looking down at my phone, that is where I'm at. And I figured, you know, I'd have a nice little sit down and have a little conversation with you guys, a little bit of a different pace. So yeah, let's get into it. So the S54 itself, I sourced mine, this is gonna sound weird, but I sourced mine through eBay and then got in contact with the seller on the outside. And I only drove about 4 hours away to Springfield, Missouri, and picked up the S54 and the 420G transmission together for $4,000 with the DME. And they were gonna crush it the next day. And so they pretty much just gave us the whole car for $4,000, and I couldn't argue with that. So I got all kinds of other M3 parts for free pretty much at that point. And I parted them back out and pretty much made my money back. So I got a free S54 almost the same way that I got a free S62. The trans mount I got from Garagistic, and that was like $60. You just take the OEM transmission mount and then weld those little adapters to them. It was like 60 bucks. So the oil pan. So the oil pan on the S54 into the E30 is a little tricky, but it's pretty commonly known. You can either modify the S54 oil pan, or you can go the E34 M50 oil pan. In my preference, I wanted to keep the S54 pan. So I sent it out to Arc Asylum, and I don't think he's doing the work anymore, but he does really great work. And I sent my oil pan and my subframe out to him to be modified, and after shipping back and forth, I think it was about $1,000. So that's what I have written down. I'm pretty sure that's how much it was. Also, mind you, that this swap was done about 4 years ago. So, no, about 3 years ago. So obviously inflation has happened. So the engine mounts and the engine arms. So the engine arms are from an E36 M3 and a Z3 M Coupe. I can't remember which side goes with which, but they were about $300 together, and they're OEM. The engine mounts themselves are rev shift. They were $100 for the pair. The shift assembly, at the time, there was not a plug-and-play shift assembly for this swap, so I had to have one made, and it got a little pricey. It was about $500. Long story short, the selector rod and the shift assembly were made separately by two different companies, put together. They fit like a glove, fit the car like a glove. Absolutely happy, shifts like a dream. The cooling, so when it comes to the cooling, I used a Z3M radiator, an OEM one, not a Mishimoto one, because I didn't have the room for it. The clearance up here is incredibly tight. I have an electric fan and then an E46 M3 expansion tank, and all that together was about $600. The M3 expansion tank is a little pricey. The fans can get pricey. I'm using, I think, a Spall on here. I say I think because this swap has been the majority of my life the last couple months. The fuel pump is an Aeromotive 255. You can get them off of Amazon for like 130 bucks, and they do very well. The tune I had from Castle Motorsports, it was like $800 for everything, which sounds like a lot, but it's a decent tune, and you're getting rid of EWS, secondary air pump, cold start delete, all that good stuff. The harness, the plug-and-play harness I had made from, I think, E30 Drew is his name, not to be confused with me, different Drew. That harness was about $600. The exhaust on here, a little tricky. I already had the rear section of the exhaust from the M20 stroker that I built for this car, and I just kept it, and it actually sounds really good. If you want to know what that sounds like, check the links out in the description. And it's about $1,000 to have my cats cut off of the OEM headers, the V-bands welded on, and then attached to the X-pipe and all the way back. So it's about $1,000 for all that, which that's including the price of the original muffler. The wind just blew and then something just flew over there. It was weird. And then the drive shaft. The drive shaft I spent about $200 on. It's an E36 M3 automatic drive shaft. $200. I just bought a used one, and you can buy a new one, but they're like $1,200 new. So yeah, and then there is the massive brake booster delete kit and the master cylinder from an E32, and those two together were $400. I think it's $200 and $200, and that's how I got everything in this car. Pretty straightforward, honestly. So I think the swap itself took me about 2 or 3 months to get parts for, and then took me about a month to put together. Obviously, you can see here that the engine bay really isn't that clean. I needed a daily driver at the time because my E46 cooling system just shit the bed, so I needed a daily driver. And yeah, but this thing's fast. I absolutely love it. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are building an S54 swap. I've already talked to, within the last month, I've talked to at least 30 of you doing this swap, and have gotten you guys pointed in the right direction. So if you guys have any questions, put them down in the comments. You can find me here on Instagram, and you can find me here on Snapchat. I update Snapchat way more frequently than I do Instagram. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. So guys, I'm gonna leave you with that. So remember to do awesome, be awesome, and stay awesome. You guys are great. I'll see you next time.